Welcome to BU Global Music Festival 2020 online program brought to you by Boston University Arts Initiative. My name is Maria Abe, Professor of Ethnomusicology at Boston University and also the Artistic Director of the festival.
And my name is Brian Keir. I'm the producer of BU Global Music Festival with these great folks at BU Arts Initiative.
So BU Global Music Festival started in 2018, and this would be the third annual year. Normally, this free, open to the public, and all ages festival takes place on Boston University campus in Boston, which is the traditional homeland of the Massachusetts people and the neighbors, the Nipmuc and Wampanoag peoples. I know that you're viewing this program from all over the world today, and we encourage everyone to know and honor the indigenous history of the land where you are right now. And if relevant, acknowledge the painful histories of settler colonialism and other forms of violence. If you're not sure of that history, you can go to native-land.ca, a neat website that will help you identify the original inhabitants on the map on most parts of the world. This festival usually happens on multiple stages over 2 days, featuring performances and workshops by over 10 artists from all over the world. This year, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, unfortunately, we had to postpone the in-person festival. But instead, we are producing the online program to bring you a taste of live performances right to your home.
And BU Arts Initiative would like to thank our sponsors, BU Arts Initiative, the Carbank Fund for the Global Music at BU, World Music Consortium, Ty Furman, Sarah Collins, and Dot Hibbard over at the BU Arts Initiative office, and PJ Goodwin, our producer and technical director for the festival.
So for tonight, we programmed 2 special concerts for you, both by fierce female artists who are movers, shakers, and history makers. First, you will hear from a band led by 2 women musicians based here in Boston, Fabiola Mendez and Zaida Pola, playing music from their native island of Puerto Rico. Then you're in for a treat, a rare chance to hear a live performance by the legendary roots reggae singer Sister Nancy, hailing from Jamaica. The 2 45-minute sets will be followed by a live Zoom conversation with Fabiola and Zaida, where you'll be able to chime in and ask them questions, so please stay tuned. And lastly, especially during the pandemic, we've all learned how vitally essential the arts are in our lives. We need the artists, and the artists need our support more than ever. So if you enjoy this program, please make sure to go support the musicians and the art around you. So thank you, stay safe and healthy, enjoy the shows, and we'll see you in the Zoom conversation later, and hope to see you in person at BU Global Music Festival in 2021.
Agradezco al encierro la dicha de poder reconectar con la vida, tierra, música y crecer. Le agradezco al encierro que me ayudó a encontrar mi musa, mi unicornio, el que sirvió no pudo hallar, pero yo sí me encontré como un pajarito pequeño que mientras iba en busca del sol se topó conmigo y a mi oído cantó esta simple melodía. La, 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 la. Thank you very much. Welcome everybody to this Global Music Festival concert. It is my pleasure to be here, accompanied by amazing musicians, by my sisters Zaira Pola, Miguel Martinez, Juan Maldonado, Aníbal Cruz. We're going to be sharing some of my repertoire in this first half of the show. And that first song that you just heard is an original of mine entitled Reconectar, which translates to reconnect. And it's just about talking about the experience of being quarantined, and how that, in a way, was a very positive experience for me because it let me reconnect, not just with my music or with myself, but also with earth, with nature, with my family, with my friends. So I always try to look at the positive side of things. And that song just came out. It's my new single, so you can find it on all digital platforms if you look up Fabiola Mendez or Reconectar. Next up, we're going to do a cover of Puerto Rican composer and pianist Angel David Matos. And this is a more jazzy song, taking some licks of traditional music. So this is called Inside Land, and I hope you enjoy. you so much. That was Inside Land by Angel David Matos. We're going to do one more song from my repertoire, and then we're going to move on to some salsa. But before we do that, we'll do a little bit of guaracha, which is a traditional Puerto Rican style, very similar to salsa, but a little more acoustic sounding. This song was composed by Nicolás Guillén and popularized by Cuban musician Pablo Milanés, and this is entitled Canción, or De Qué Callada Manera. I hope you enjoy. Feel free to dance a little bit. Sonriendo como si fuera la primavera y yo muriendo, y de qué modo sutil me derramo en la camisa todas las flores de abril. Siempre nunca llanto, como si fuera la primavera y no soy santo. En cambio, qué espiritual que usted me brinde una rosa, su rosa al principal. De qué callada manera se me adentra usted sonriendo, como si fuera la primavera y yo muriendo, yo muriendo. Que yo era risa siempre, nunca llanto, como si fuera la primavera y no soy tanto. Y en cambio qué espiritual que usted me brinde una rosa, su rosa al principal. De qué callada manera se me adentra usted sonriendo, como si fuera la primavera y yo muriendo, yo muriendo. De qué callada manera se me adentra usted sonriendo, como si fuera la primavera y yo muriendo, yo muriendo. Thank you. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much. Again, that was De Qué Callada Manera. And now I want to pass it over to my dear friend and sister, Zaira Pola, which I have the pleasure of sharing the stage and the concert and the repertoire. So she can tell you a little bit about what you're going to hear next.
Thank you, Fabi.
You're welcome.
This is really great having these amazing musicians on stage. Oh my God, I'm so happy. So next song, I'm going to be doing some covers from my hometown, Puerto Rico, and I hope you like it. This song, next song is Mi Desengaño. It's very well known by Roberto Roena, and hopefully you love our
Feel
sound.
free to dance.
Of course, please,
This is
come
the
on.
part where we're going to do salsa. From now on, the rest of the show is going to do salsa. So, grab your glass or your beer or your water, whatever you have at home, and dance along with us.
That's right. Eso, qué rico. Thank you so much. Salsa. Thank you so much. Are you guys are dancing? Hopefully. Yes.
I'm dancing here, if you can see. You know, it's just side steps. It's not that hard. You can just do side steps, and no one's watching. If you're at home, no one's watching. Maybe your neighbor, I don't know.
Maybe,
But
maybe.
I think you'll be fine. So feel free to dance, please.
All right. I hope you like Celia Cruz and Ismael Rivera. Ismael Rivera made this song, and Celia Cruz did this in his honor, and I'm going to do exactly the same. I hope you like it. Arrecotín, arrecotán. Arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera cuánto va, arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera cuánto va, arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera cuánto va, cuánto dedos tiene encima. Y si me hubiera dicho 5 años, te hubiera dicho 6, arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera cuánto va, y cuántos dedos tiene encima. Y si me hubiera dicho 7 años, te hubiera dicho 8, arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera cuánto va, cuántos dedos tiene encima. Y si me hubiera dicho 9, yo te hubiera dicho 10, arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera cuánto va, y cuántos dedos tiene encima. Arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera cuánto, que los de adelante corren mucho y los de atrás se quedarán. Arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera cuánto. Qué rico este chachita, yo sé que te va a gustar. Arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera cuánto. Arrecotín, arrecotán, y a la vera cuánto va. Arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera. Ay, los de adelante corren mucho, mira, y los de atrás se quedarán. Arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera cuánto va. Arrecotín, 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 arrincotín, carrancaca. Arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera cuánto va. Arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera cuánto va. Ay, arrecotín, arrecotán, y a la vera cuánto va. Arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera. Ay, que da un pasito, mira para adelante y 2 pasitos para atrás. Arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera. Qué rico, mira mulata, yo sé que a ti te va a encantar. Arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera cuánto va. Qué rico, nos vamos para la moña. A la vera cuánto va. 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 Que los de adelante que corren más, arrecotín, arrecotán. A la vera cuánto va. Que los de adelante corren mucho y los de atrás se quedarán. Arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera cuánto va. Pero qué rico, mira este homenaje, Ismael Rivera, te va a encantar. Arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera cuánto va. Ay, arrecotín, arrecotán, y cuánto, mira cuánto va. Arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera cuánto va. Arrecotín, coquín, y a la vera cuánto va. Arrecotín, arrecotán, a la vera cuánto va. Arrecotín. Gracias, gracias. We're going to continue with more music, salsa music for you guys. The next song is a really fun one, and I hope you like it. It's Hasta que se rompa el cuero. We're going to change a little bit this. And this song, I heard in Sonora Ponceña when I was, around 7 years old, and I fell in love. Hasta que se rompa el cuero. I hope you like it. quiero dedicar, yo le quiero dedicar esta rumba a los rumberos. Con su gran agilidad, por su gran agilidad, repicando bien los cueros. El bajo y el piano, junto con los cueros. Yo y mi Eso, gracias. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sweaty. I'm dancing and this mask is not that fun, but we have to wear it for our own good. I'm gonna do my last song of my repertoire, and I hope you like it. This is also from Celia Cruz, Toro Mata.
But before we do that, I want to thank
Thank you.
the team at BU Global Music Festival, Marie and the whole production team, for helping the sound, the cameras, everything, the lights. Also special thanks to Agora Cultural Architects, to Ana, Elsa, and Natalia, especially for helping with all the pre-production as well. Again, my name is Fabiola Mendez. I want to introduce the band, Zaira Pola, of course, Miguel Martinez on the congas, Juan Maldonado on the bass, Aníbal Cruz on the piano, and Angel Subero on trombone that joined us for that second half of the show. You can follow us on social media, Fabiola Mendez Music, and Zaira Pola as well, Zaira Pola Official, on all social media. And also one more thing, if you want to keep listening to our music, please follow us also on our digital platforms. So you can find me at Fabiola Mendez or Zaira Pola, and you can listen to more of our music. Thank you so much again, and we hope you enjoy this last song, Toro Mata.
Toro mata, rumbambero y toro mata.
Thank you so much for having us. Muchas gracias, Fabiola Méndez. On cuatro, please give it up for her. Zaira Pola, vocals and percussion. Miguel Martinez, percussion. On bass, please give it up. The one and only Juan Maldonado. Aníbal Cruz on piano and vocals. Ángel Subero, my man, on trombone. Thank you so much. Thank you, gracias. See you next time.
Welcome to the second program of BU Global Music Festival 2020 online program. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maria Abe, the Artistic Director of the festival. It's a great honor to introduce you to the artists you're about to hear today. Hailing from Kingston 6, St. Andrew, Jamaica, Sister Nancy is the pioneering woman in roots reggae. Sister Nancy is known as the first female DJ and singer in reggae, as she started her career in dancehall sound systems in the mid-1970s, which were entirely male-dominated at the time. Her voice and stylings became so iconic and extremely influential as her classic 1982 hit song Bam Bam became a reggae anthem. And it's been sampled over 80 times, and most recent cases that you might have heard about is by Jay-Z and Kanye. So she is an icon, a legend, a queen, and a warrior of reggae. Please give it up for Sister Nancy.
Greetings. I'll say greetings in the mighty Muslim Primus Temperance Selassie, kings of kings and lords of lords, the conqueror and the tribe of Judah, elect of John, true light of this world. Greetings to the Global Music Festival. It's only high, the original Sister Nancy. To you, this one dedicated to you. I'll say special dedicated to you. Ribbit, this one dedicated to you, and God knows who. Ribbit, I said, proud of we Jamaica, proud of we. Proud of we Jamaica, proud of we. Proud of me Jamaica, proud of me. Proud of me Jamaica, proud of me. I sit down in Jamaica, the island of the sun. Them plant sugar cane, them get white rum. Now that is the island of the sea and the sun. Jamaica is my country. Jamaica is Nancy country. I said, sweet, sweet Jamaica. We love the ackee and the saltfish. We love the yam and banana. We love the strong, strong ganja. We love the great marijuana. Man, the cool, cool river. I said, proud of me, Jamaica, proud of me. Proud of me, Jamaica, proud of me. Proud of me, Jamaica, proud of me. To you, this one dedicated to you. I said this one dedicated to you. Ribbit, who this one dedicated to you. To you, and God knows who. Slang down, down, lily. I sit down in Jamaica, the island of the sun. Plant sugar cane and them get white rum. That is the island of the sea and the sun. Jamaica is Nancy country. Jamaica is my country. I said, proud of me, Jamaica, proud of me. 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 To you, this one dedicated to you. I I said this one dedicated to you. Yes, this one dedicated to you. To all proud Jamaicans, big up on yourself. It's only high, Sister Nancy representing for Global Music Festival. Run it, selector. The tinkle answer. Originality. I'll tell me go a New York and me drive Skylark. Me go a England and say drive Leland. In a two them no know me have me ambition. Why me have for me own a transportation? This is transport connection. Yes, this is transport connection. It is transport connection. And it is transport connection. Hey. How come me put it connected to the cycle? The cycle connected to the motorbike it connected. To the car and the car it connected. To the truck and the truck it connected. To the bus and the bus it connected. To the train, say in the engine down in a bus line. Say when you polish woman and she will shine. It's transport connection. Ribbit, a transport connection. Hey, how to go to New York? We try Skylark. To England and you drive Leland. In a two them no know me have me ambition. Why I have my own transportation. This is transport connection. It is transport connection. What me say? If you ride on a bike, then fuss and fight. You're driving out the car, them a make to your war. You know that Sister Nancy, she a real superstar. Transport connection. It is transport connection. I say when I was a child, them call me D&T. Till when I was a child, them call me D&T. But now me turn a woman, them a call me Nancy. I'm my name Sister Nancy. I'm my name Sister Nancy. I'm the one in your city. Don't you know that no guy can trick me? This is transport connection. Yes, it is transport connection. I say engine number 9, rolling down in a Boston line. Say when you call it, Sister Nancy will shine. A transport connection. Global Music Festival. Global Music Festival. Ribbit. After right on a bike, them a fuss and fight. Driving the car, them a make pure war. You know that Sister Nancy, she a born superstar. Transport connection. It is transport connection. Said engine number 9, rolling down in the Boston line. I say when you polish, Sister Nancy will shine. A transport connection. Hope you feel alright. A transport connection. Listen, you put it connected to the cycle. Cycle connected to the motorbike it connected. To the car and the car it connected. To the truck and the truck it connected. To the train it connected. To the plane, say in the engine, and say you roll it down. It's fast, yeah. Every time. And all these tunes you're hearing are from 1982. Some is from 1979, but most of them is from 1982. This one name, Chibum. Oh my yonder boom. Ribbit, hit me. Everybody get ready. Do Nancy rock steady. I said, everybody get ready. Do Sister Nancy rock steady. She boom. Don't you know your mama Nancy on the boom? Don't you know that Sister Nancy she on the boom? Don't you know that mama Nancy on the boom? Ribbit, hit them boom, shaka laka laka boom 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 boom. Boom shaka laka laka boom 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 boom. Boom shaka laka laka boom 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 boom. Boom shaka laka laka boom boom boom. You're the only woman DJ with degree. Me are the only woman DJ with degree. Say some call me Nancy, some call me D&T, but I your Sister Nancy with the lyrics mighty. She boom. You know what is the song called the boom? Don't you know what is a rhythm of the boom? It's on the boom. Hey, yes, me I'm the only woman DJ with the green. The only woman DJ with the green. Say when I was a child, my mama didn't like me. She looked from me daddy, say what a picnic. And this a little picnic I got on MC. She boom. Oh, don't you know that Sister Nancy on the boom? She boom, 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 she on the boom. Don't you know that Mama Nancy on the boom? Again Global Festival, everybody get ready. Everybody get ready. Do Mama Nancy rock steady. Do Sister Nancy rock steady. It's on the boom. She boom, 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 it's on the boom. Don't you know it's on the boom, I need to boom. Don't you know it's on the boom, it's on the boom. Oh, don't you know it's on the boom, it's on the boom. It's on the boom. The only woman DJ with the green. I am the only woman DJ with the green. Some call me Nancy, some call me DT. Yes, I am woman Nancy with the lyrics smiling. Anything me chant, I know anything me chant, not slack it, tidy, hit on the boom. Ching boom boom boom. Have mercy. Woman Nancy. After Nancy went from the scene, just Sister Nancy come in. You know they done so nice. Me say they done so clean. Leave it, and I sign Maria, and she a rock and come in. And I sign Mrs. Christine here, Nancy from afar. And she said, come Sister Nancy, go in a war, not a war, not a war, not a war, not a war. I in a Boston be there, in a Massachusetts Nancy there, in a Boston Sister Nancy there, in a Massachusetts Nancy there. I see ball in the dreadlocks, black and whitey, in a woman Nancy, listen woman Nancy, them say what a nice and lovely lady, walk on dry land, not try it for sea, and Johnny broke a buckle on him to it up to me, and I told her, and Ma told her, Johnny get a beat on me, say we control them, so woman Nancy control them, yes Sister Nancy have to ride them, we be to woman Nancy have to ride them, it was a very long night, under the moonlight, you know the dance all night, yes the dance all tight, leave it, and I hear 200 trailers who was about to own a pipe, launch a pipe, them say we have to bless this dance, because the session is right, and I love our Sister Nancy, how she a jump on the mic, I tell them say, I in a Boston today, Massachusetts Nancy there, in a Boston Sister Nancy there, Massachusetts Sister Nancy there, I say play them, make Sister Nancy come right down. It's a global music festival affair. Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling alright? This one is from 1979. Atmosphere my second tune from 1979.
I sent you to stay.
Stadu-ba-do-ba-do-day. Ribbit, I said, your money can't buy my love. I say money can't buy Nancy love. Ribbit, the money can't buy my love. I say money couldn't buy a Nancy love. Cause if love was a thing that a money could buy, the rich man would have lived to move and Nancy would have died. I can't stand it. I say no, I can't take this. And I no, I said money can't buy my love. I say money now buy my love. I say money cannot buy Nancy love. Tell me say money couldn't buy a female lover, cause Nancy is not for sale. Just Sister Nancy is not for sale. Ribbit, I say love your little mommy and you love little daddy. Join us together and no fight against nobody. Like a bird of a feather, like a stamp to a letter. We all join together and no stick together. Me say money can't buy my love. I say money could not buy Nancy love. I say money can't buy my love. I say money could not buy Nancy love. Remember, I'm not for sale. Charlie, Nancy's not for sale. Again, I say love you, little money, and they love your daddy. I say diamonds together, no fight against nobody. Like a birds of a feather, like a stamp to a letter. Yes, we all join together, no stick together. Me say money can't buy Nancy love. I said money can't buy Nancy love. I say go away, go away. Stand up, be do day. Live it, bang the day. I say what you really wanna say. You better do what you really wanna do. Do you know that Sister Nancy, yes, she's passing through. Live bit. I said some money can't buy my love. I said money couldn't buy Nancy love. I said money kind of funny. I'm O-N-E-Y. Oh, no, I said no money. It kinda really funny, me say money. Little bit, and this some money kinda funny. Love your little money and love your little daddy. Me say join hands together, no fight against nobody. Little bit, some money can't buy Nancy love. Say money can't buy my love. Again, I'm not for sale. Sister Nancy is not for sale. Rebecca woman Nancy is not for sale. Don't you know I am not for sale? Now go on, Jesus said the money. Don't sell yourself short for money. Don't sell yourself short for money. Don't gain the world and lose your soul. You got to be told, you got to be bold. Don't do things for money. Call that come on the money. I go kind of funny. Rastafari. I still love you, little mommy, love your daddy. Join hands together, don't fight against nobody. Original thing. Run that. I think I want you. Ain't no skipping about the local Nancy, young them on the queue. Steady, just cool it out. Well, I say one. Jam on Nancy, me call it the plan, I me say two. I say nobody take off your shoe, I me say three. I tell you Nancy, have a baby, I me say four. Me like nobody kick off me door, I me say five. I tell you if you slip you will slide, I me say six. I mean him Sister Nancy, I me say seven. But every man who want go whatever, me say eight. Jam on Nancy, lay them straight, I me say nine. Me tell you this your lyrics, yeah, I'm mine, I me say 10. Go tell your little friend, come up and Nancy, come again. Me do not to borrow, me do not to lend. Cause anything me borrow, me give it back tomorrow. And anything me learn, me want it back again. After walking down the street, two man I meet. And I walking down the street, two guys I meet. One tall and brown, one black and ivory. Him ask where me name, me tell him Sister Nancy. Ask me where me come from, Kingston City. Him ask where me born, me tell him home delivery. Him ask where me tell him shiny. And also one lot of gold jewelry. Him ask where me live, me tell him New Jersey. I'm a name Sister Nancy. I'm a name Sister Nancy. Okay, I say people, are you ready? Ribbit over there, some people. Are you ready? Ribbit again, I said, people. Are you ready? And all the people in the corner there, I said, people. Are you ready? And all my nice and decent people here, I said, people. Are you ready? Ribbit. Here come the woman Nancy rock steady. I meet. Remember, it's a Global Music Festival affair tonight. Dedicated to all the people in the building. Big up on yourself. It's been a long time. It's a long time, John. Know yourself, yes, sir? It's all come take you. This happened to be my first record from 1979. My first tune I've ever done. Flip it, hit me, do ba ba do be do booty. Hit me and do ba ba do be do. Wheel up. Play it again for me, please. Wheel up. You remember the tune there? Maxine, you may talk. You may made a tune. You forgot I made a studio new tune. Because myself, Maxine, we are there a long time to see you. Forward for Maxine again. Repeat. The wrong tune there. The next one. Because myself, Maxine, I see you. You did for you again. Here. From 1979. She do. Repeat. Hit me, do baba do be do bole. To baba do be do bole. Shang we low chibo. Chow lam palang chow lam chimba. She Nancy in your ear. Bang the little sister Nancy in your ear. Boston, yes, Mama Nancy in your ear. Thomas a two sister Nancy in your ear. Hey, so Papa didn't want to give me sardine. So Papa didn't want to give me butter bean. Papa didn't want to give me sardine. So Papa didn't want to give me butter bean. Me say me, but me get no just a water me veggie. I see the boy, I come the boy say Nancy good morning. Turn round and give me him, I give me butter bean. In turn round and give me him, I give me sardine. I said to the boy, beg your pardon, you know see me in me vegetable garden. So Papa didn't want to give me sardine. So Papa didn't want to give me butter bean. I say Morgan the pirate, him claim say him great. Go up Port Royal, go check out the general. Bugs Fun Nancy the marshal. Yes, him Bugs Fun Nancy the. Hey, so Papa didn't want to give me sardine. So Papa didn't want to give me butter bean. Papa didn't want to give me sardine. Papa didn't want to give me butter bean. I said spin it to the east, and he said spin it to the west. Don't know worry, the sister Nancy is the best. Rock it out and out, and he said bring it out and south. All DJ girls, run up them out. Papa didn't want to give me sardine. Papa didn't want to give me butter bean. And I say wow, she wow. Tonati wow, she wow. Again, I said do baba do be do day. And do baba do be do day. So till me boom baba. I said do baba do be do day. When they do mama do day. I said I'll stop send me down on your son. What time is veggie? Send the boy and come the boy say Nancy good morning. Turn around and give me him, or give me butter bean. He turn around and give me sardine. I said to the boy, I beg your pardon, you know see me in the vegetable garden. Cause you don't know me as a ganja cultivator. You don't know me as a veggie cultivator. How much you see me in me got no one to give me sardine. See me in me got no one to give me butter bean. Papa didn't want to give me sardine. Papa didn't want to give me butter bean. I said do, baba do be do day. Do be do, baba do be do day. I said do baba do day. Selassie. Where I said Maxine, I see a long time. Run that. Global Music Festival. Right through, this is a rocky road. You sing Charlie Marley, Charlie. Say right through, this is a rocky road. You sing Charlie Marley, Charlie. We come to start the ball a roller. Mama Nancy, I go start the ball a roller. Mama Nancy come to start the ball a roller. Sister Nancy, I go start the ball a roller. Come and say, come face man, come make we selection. Come on, man, make we mash up selection. You come Fuji, make we mash up selection. Day and night and we want go home. Say come you Mr. Stanley man, you carry the banana. Day and night and we want go home. Say come you little Stanley man, you carry the banana. Day and night and we want go home. We come to start the ball road. We come to start the ball road. I said Tom was only 10 when his father died in prison. I was his auntie, his mother, bigger sister. Oh man, Ribbit, he said, proud, miss me son, don't do the things I've done. Walk away from trouble if you can. Ribbit, he don't mean you weak if you turn the other cheek. Someday you're gonna grow to be a man. Tom had a little girl cutie. Some boys would call her yellow. He ride on the back of a pony to the meadow. Yes, yes, he ride with his Bible in his hand. And people that took place in the ghetto, ho, oh. Where took place in the ghetto, ho, oh. Again, in the, yes, in the ghetto, I said, in the ghetto, I said, a early morning, January morning, another little January child was born in the ghetto. Said in the ghetto, not to tell them, I didn't learn how to fuss, didn't learn how to fight. I learned to read my Bible day and night in the ghetto. Yes, in the ghetto. Boston, me come fi start the ball a roll. Tell woman and she come fi start the ball a roll. Yes, sister Nancy, I go start the ball a roll. Woman and she come fi start the ball a roll. Say right through the Boston Road. Right through, for that true set road. Right through the Boston Road. You sing Charlie Marley, Charlie. And any man I me no like, I me no chat to them. Any woman me no like, I me no keep them fine. Right through the Boston Road. Sing Charlie Marley, Charlie. On a cold and great November morning, another little November child was born in the ghetto. Down in the ghetto. I said he didn't learn how to steal, didn't learn how to fight, did not learn to read his Bible day and night in the ghetto. Live it in the ghetto. Live it, in it. Chazuki, zuki, zuki, zing, zing, zing. Chazuki, zuki, zuki, zing, zing, zing. You're wrong for call her sister Nancy, girl. You should go trouble mama Nancy, girl. She going to start the ball a roll. Nancy had to start the ball a roll. On a cold and great January morning, another little Naphtali child was born in the ghetto. One drop. Originals to the first. They can't talk on them too many good enough. There are some DJ who can't talk on some rhythm race. Nowadays make them rhythm are originals to the one win. And talk and me a talk non-stop. Chum woman and see the cream and the top. Microphone, it chop and down. When microphone for me, I be up in the air. Don't you know chum woman and see she a top celebrity. Solid, solid, solid. I am solid, solid, solid. Chum woman and see solid like a rock. Solid, solid, solid. No, me not a heat, no to crap. She solid, solid, solid. The DJ, she solid like that. Solid, solid, solid. Some woman on she solid like a rock. I am solid, solid, solid. S-O-L-I-D. Born solid like a rock. Originality. I say things and time will tell. And things and time must meet. Settings and time will tell. And I said things and time will meet. I said, no one know yourself anymore. No one know inner peace anymore. Till they decided to be one. I said, no one love them brothers anymore. No one love them sisters anymore. Till they decided to be one. Live it, I said, things and time will tell. The pandemic must go away, you know the times have to change. Things and time will meet. Things and time will meet. Original, this is originality. Original, this is Sister Nancy. Original, this is originality. Original, Homo Nancy. Original, originality. Original, Sister Nancy, tell me who can run dance song like me. Tell me who can run Boston like me. The university, tell me who can run Boston like me. The university, tell me, hey, tell me who can run dance song like me. Again, here, original, this is originality. You know what? Original, and this is Sister Nancy. Original, this is originality. Original, Sister Nancy, tell me who can run Boston like me. You better tell me no can run the university like me. You see a woman like coming me full of decency. Me under the guidance of King Selassie. Tell me who can run dance song like me. Leave it in here. Original, this is originality. Original, I say things and time will tell. And things and times must meet. Leave it, I say things and time will tell. Leave it, I say things and times will meet. Original, this is originality. Rastafari. From 1982, I'm the 1-2 album. I must be the thinker. No stopping. Nancy by her melody. Cause Nancy been DJing from I was 15 years old. Live it, hit him. Ain't no stopping, Sister Nancy by her melody. Cause Nancy been DJing from I was 15 years old. You understand? I said ain't no stopping Nancy now. There ain't no stopping Nancy now. global musical. No stopping dancing now. It's me, hot your mic MC. It's me, hot your mic. No for them a ask if me a man. Honey a lady, Sister Nancy, the best sister key. Uptown, downtown, crazy over me. The whole of them want to come forward, but they ain't no stopping Nancy baby. Cause Nancy been DJing from I was 15 years old. At a young age, from 1976 until this time, and I'm still here, kicking it like a ball, Rastafari. And I said, ain't no stopping dancing now. There ain't no stopping dancing now. There ain't no stopping dancing now. My father, he's a farmer, every day he go plow. Now left him digger, him now left him cow. Plant hella and he plant pop tower. And when him go a yard, him can go buy a pick a bow. Him and me sing his song now. She said, ain't no stopping Nancy, baby. She said, ain't no stopping Sister Nancy, baby. Again, I say what happened to me. Me no get no request. I'm over Nancy, she no want no request. Don't you know that Sister Nancy is the best? Perspiration I run like sweat. So that's the eye. Originality. Now you can make a chat, or you can take it back. Cause I never talk like that. Nancy never chat slack. Because our culture is stay on top. Wanna hear me? You can make a chat, or you can take it back. Cause Sister Nancy no talk like that. Don't talk anything slack. Because our culture is stay on top. Again, Father, thanks for your blessing. Guide me in my going and my coming. Anytime I pray, I get forgiven. Without enemy life, him don't have no meaning. Just see me body take it. Just make it for your purpose. Now Jack can use it. Jack control. Me know him now go wreck it. And skin, flesh and bone. And I don't want to waste it. Again, you can make a chat, or you can take it back. Cause I never talk like that. Nancy never chat slack. Because our culture is stay upon top. Hey, you can make a speech and sing your fire your rich. Mama practice what she preach. Never bound down low. Because the culture it must have to grow. Yes, I never bound down low. Because the culture it must have to grow. Ribbit, I never bow down low. Because the slackness it must have to go. Again, Father, thanks for your blessing. Guide me in my going and my coming. Anytime I pray, I get forgiven. Without enemy life, it don't have no meaning. Why you see me body attack it? Just make it for your purpose. Now Jack can use it. Jack control. Me know him not go wreck it. And skin, flesh and bone. I don't want to waste it. You can make a chat, or you can take it back. Cause I never talk like that. I never chat slack. Cause culture is deep on top. Ribbit, you can make a speech and sing your far your reach. Nancy practice what she preach. I never bow down low. Because the slackness it must have to go. Yes, I never bow down low. Because the slackness it must have to go. Ribbit, me say me never bow down low. Because the slackness it must have to go. Ribbit, I never bow down low. Because the slackness it must have to go. Just see me body and take it. Make it for your purpose now you can use it. Jack control. Me know him not go wreck it. And skin, flesh and bone. And I don't want to waste it. Hey, you can make a chat, or you can take it back. Cause I never talk like that. Me never chat slack. Because our culture is stay on top. Hey, I never chat slack. Cause culture is stay on top. Rastafari Global Music Festival out here in beautiful beautiful, cool Boston in Massachusetts. It's so cool out here. After you're sorry for Magadak will turn around and bite you. Jump out of frying pan, you wanna hear a woman on fire. Sorry for Magadak will turn around and bite you. Jump out of frying pan, you wanna hear a sister Nancy fire. You wanna hear a sister Nancy fire. You know, I'm not calling you guys Magadak. You know, in Jamaica, when you say you're sorry for Magadak, it means sometimes you help someone and they turn around and be ungrateful. So I call them Magadak. So the Magadak don't mean like you're a puppy who you're barking. Oh, no. You're an ungrateful person. That's why you're a Magadak. So if it takes you or if it's for you, take it. Sorry for Magadak. Magadak will turn around and bite you. Jump out of frying pan. Them all are in a sister Nancy fire. Them all are in a sister Nancy fire. You know what? Me come stronger. The DJ test me. Them have to live longer. Control every area. Manage every border. Do good. If follow you, man, you must prosper. I came and I saw. I know Nancy conquer. Have a name brand to no girl, me no stranger. Hurry come up DJ, the original mama. Me a sample DJ, that's all girls like powder. Chamuma Nancy young, the ram dance daughter. The ram dance daughter. Ribbon. Sorry for Magadak. They want to run and bite me. Sorry for Magadak. They want to run and bite me. I say sorry for Magadak. Magadak will turn round and bite you. Sorry for Magadak. Magadak turn round and bite you. Say honor me, Nancy don't talk like this. Honor me, Sister Nancy, not into this. Honor me, why you waste and jump and twist? This is the voice of the female chemist. Sorry for Magadak. Magadak will turn round and bite you. Jump out of frying pan. The wall of Hina Sister Nancy fire. Wall of Hina Sister Nancy fire. The wall of Hina Sister Nancy fire. The wall of Hina Sister Nancy fire. Let me hear you say fire. Fire. Boston fire. Boston fire. 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 Original fire. Hey. Come stronger, Selassie. It's a global music festival. I feel nice. I feel so nice up here. And you know, I was wondering if I was gonna have a nice time. And I do have a nice time. I have a nice time. It was wonderful. I want to tell you about this tune. You already know. Where's my selector? You already know the history of this tune. You have the history cut down on this. You know what it is. It's from 1982. Boston, I said if you know that Jah is keeping you, what are you worried about? I said if you know that Jah is keeping you, why don't you sing and shout? Sing glory, hallelujah, praise his name. Every day with Jah is just the same. If you know that Jah is keeping you, what are you worried about? Jah one thing or none, see me can't understand. You know one thing or none, see me can't understand. What me could them matter about me ambition? So what me could them matter about me ambition? You know say some of them a ask me where me get it from. Tell them a ask me where me get it from. And to them no know it's from creation. But to them no know it's from creation. Bam bam, chow bam bam, chow bam bam dilo. Chodisa bam bam Dylan. Chodisa bam bam Dylan. Chodisa bam bam Dylan. Chodisa bam bam Dylan. This woman, I never trouble no one. Say that my lady, I'm not a man. And MC is my ambition. I come to nice up Boston. What a bam bam. Chow what a bam bam. Chop bam bam Dylan. When you hear it, then you sound like a crispy biscuit. You come and bust down. We worship chop and bam. Chop and bam bam. Chop and bam killer. Chop is a bam bam killer. Enough of them will say me want come mash up them plan. Chop them will say me want come mash up them plan. Not to them no more. Me a business woman. Sister Nancy is 1 in 3 million. Sister Nancy, 1 in 3 million. Chop and bam. Chop and bam bam. Chop bam bam killer. Chop is a bam bam killer. Chop is a bam bam killer. Chop is a bam bam killer. I say go Sister Nancy, you figure. You better go, Sister Nancy, you fit. Because me know it from me head, straight down to me toe, and 3 toe, Sister Nancy on the go. And now for them ask, Sister Nancy, make your butt so. What make your back so? Thank you, Global Music Festival. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here. Rastafari.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for staying tuned. And thank you for being patient with our little bit of technical difficulty transitioning just now. But here we are. I hope you all enjoy the powerful, amazing performances by Zaira Pola, Fabiola Mendez, followed by Sister Nancy. I'm Marie Abe, professor of music at Boston University, and also the artistic director of BU Global Music Festival. Before we start the conversation with our fabulous guests who you just performed earlier today, I just wanted to apologize for the audio problem that we had on Facebook Live, where dozens of fans of Fabiola and Zaira were tuning in. But please be rest assured that the whole archive, the video will be archived and available with complete audio on YouTube. So please check back early next week for that link. It'll be available early next week, bu.edu/GMF. So please make sure to go back there and you can watch it over and over and over on repeat. Quickly, also wanted to acknowledge and thank our partners and sponsors, Boston University Arts Initiative, the Carbank Fund for Global Music at BU, and World Music Consortium. So now it's time for an exciting panel discussion with musicians that we heard earlier today. And so we'll have about 30 minutes or so talking with them, and followed by 15 minutes of Q&A where you viewers can ask them any questions you'd like. If you're tuning in from Zoom, you can type in your questions at any point on Q&A box. If you're watching this on Facebook Live, then you can, there is a moderator there. So feel free to type in your questions in the chat, and then the moderator will relay those questions to us, and we'll try to get to as many of them as possible. So without further ado, please allow me to introduce Fabiola Mendez and Zaira Pola. Welcome. Thank you for your performance.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Hi, everyone.
So would you please introduce yourselves to us with your name, where you were born, your musical training, what you play, types of music that you play, and any accomplishments that we should know about. Would you like to start, Zaira?
Sure. My name is Zaira Pola. I'm from Puerto Rico, born and raised, Bayamón, actually, city of Bayamón. I play drum set, I play percussion. I am a singer and I do some rap as well. And I play, of course, I'm a Latina, so I play a lot of salsa and Latin music, but I also play jazz, R&B, and soul music, everything. I love music, it's my passion. So whatever they ask me to do, I will do it. And one of my accomplishments definitely is obtained in 2010. I got a full tuition to attend Berklee as the first female percussionist from Puerto Rico. So that's a huge thing. So
Congratulations.
thank you.
Awesome.
All right.
Fabiola?
So my name is Fabiola Mendez.
and I am also from Puerto Rico, born and raised. And I play the Puerto Rican cuatro, which, as you saw, is the national instrument of Puerto Rico. I had the honor of also attending Berkeley, just like Zaira. That's how we met. And had also the honor of becoming the first student to graduate with the cuatro as a principal instrument. So a huge responsibility as well for me to carry that instrument that's so Puerto Rican and bringing it here to the States.
Great, wonderful. And you mentioned it a little bit, but I just wanted to, for you to explain how your band came to be. You don't necessarily always play together. You have your own independent projects, but you agreed to kind of put on this special performance for us. Could you tell a little bit about how you came to know each other and what kind of collaborations you do?
Yeah. Fabiola has a funny story that she is better if you tell the story than you.
Yes. Well, I love this story because I am a little younger than Zaira. So I remember of course, she went to Berkeley before I did. So I was in Puerto Rico, and seeing her and seeing all the Puerto Ricans at Berkeley, you know, I was a big fan. And I had the opportunity to come before I went to the bachelor degree. I had the opportunity to do a summer program at Berkeley. And that's where I met Zaira in 2012. And I remember that I was seeing her and I was like, oh my God, I'm with Zaira. Like I would take pictures and send them to my family, like, you know, I'm hanging out with Zaira Pola. And now I consider her my sister. So that's a little bit about how we met. And Zaira, you can tell us about how we put the band together.
Yeah, actually, like she told us about the cuatro is a national instrument from Puerto Rico. So it's the first time actually we have that sound in Berkeley. So I have to take advantage of that. And Fabiola, she's an amazing musician. She's a composer. She's an arranger. So for me, it was the piece that I need, you know. So in the salsa, you see that, but you don't see that as common in as a woman in the cuatro. That's not common at all. So that was something that in particular that took my attention. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Not only I will have the cuatro sound in my music, but also a female cuatro player. So it's a great combination, and I love playing with her. I feel really confident playing with her. Actually, tomorrow we have a show, and just the fact that I'm with her performing is like a thank God Fabi's there, because you know we're sisters and we come from the same area, so it's definitely a blessing to have her in the music that I do and all the groups that we play.
And that sort of the synergy and excitement and love and respect for you two, for each other, really kind of, it was palpable watching the show for
Thank
sure.
you.
And I think everybody could tell that from the performance. So when you perform the stage for us, create this performance video so that we can stream it online for your fans and for viewers, it was such a moving experience actually for me to witness it, because I think it was one of the first times that you two played together since COVID started.
Yeah, definitely.
And
True.
so I wanted to start my first question about COVID. I'm grateful that you were able to perform for us, but I also understand that it's a challenging time for artists.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell us a little bit about how COVID pandemic has affected you personally as a musician? What are the challenges and struggles, and if there are any unexpected, also new opportunities or ideas that emerged from it?
Yeah, definitely. In my case, of course, I can talk about the financially issue that probably all the artists are coming through, since everything started, all the shows being canceled. There's a lot of money that we are been losing since then. But I think the good thing about the COVID is that we have the time to basically think, introspect us in a way that we can become a better person, and that's exactly what I've been doing. I'm being trying to be better in different areas. In cooking, that it sounds like silly to say, but yeah, we musicians we eat really bad, and I'm improving the way that I eat, the exercise. I have more time to produce. So I actually I feel that I grow so much since the COVID started. So is right now I can say it's a blessing in a way. Of course, there was a lot at times that at the beginning there was a lot of anxiety, concerns that is normal. I have to move in the middle of the COVID, so of course there was like bad things happening, but at the end I can say that I'm a better human being.
It's an amazing, positive attitude to find the silver lining amidst
Yeah.
all of this craziness. What about you, Fabiola?
I have to agree with Zaira. It was definitely a time that I needed. I was working as a full-time music teacher, and that was exhausting. I didn't really have the energy to write, to create. And this pause just made me have to stop and, as Zaira said, look into myself, self-reflect, and a lot of music has come out of this. The first song that you heard is a song that I wrote as a reflection of this experience, where I'm grateful and I'm thankful for this time to stop, to listen, to be alone, because it's something that we're not used to, and we don't give ourselves the time to be by ourselves and like be silent and just kind of appreciate what's around you. So again, aside, just looking at the positive side of it, and looking at about it as an opportunity for us to grow.
It's very super inspiring.
Thank you.
Because even if you choose to be introspective, it takes certain discipline, I think, to be able to face the challenge, but also keep the productivity or creativity flowing and not be crushed by the weight of it, because it can be scary to just be stuck with your own mind, right? Thank you. So I hope that new gigs are coming your way, whether virtual or socially distanced. So that was a question that I wanted to first ask about COVID. So now moving on to my next question, which is about being a woman musician and also being a pioneer. So as we heard in your introductions, you both made the history at Berklee as the first woman to get a degree in cuatro and then get a full scholarship as a percussionist. But being first can't be easy, right? And here we weren't able to bring Sister Nancy to our conversation, unfortunately, but I wanted to share with you too an anecdote that I found out when I met her to shoot her video, which was that despite the fact that her hit song Bum Bum from '82 was a global hit, right? For decades and decades, and it's been sampled, it's been featured in Reebok commercials and everywhere, she never saw a cent of royalty coming through. And she had to fight, I think until 2013 or 14, she never got royalties. And she really kind of had to fight hard as a warrior to get recognized and get her due compensation for her creativity. So I think there's a lot, and that isn't simply just about being a woman, but she was the first women DJ, women singer in reggae, and I think I heard from her some of the struggles that she faced. So can you share with us how you got to where you are today? What are the challenges that you faced and lessons you learned as a working woman musician? What was it like growing up as a musician in Puerto Rico, and how did it change after you relocated to the US?
Well, that's a great question. For me, it's been a journey. It's been hard. I'm just 32 years old, and since I started playing percussion at the age of 11 years old, immediately I start feeling like looks like that instrument. You're not supposed to be playing timbales. You're not supposed to be playing drums, because apparently people think that the instruments have a gender. And particularly in percussion, for some reason, they see that the timbales is so loud, or the way that it's very physical. Probably people think that is supposed to be men and no woman. So definitely was a struggle in my family one of the members, they used to tell me that, like, wow, why you don't play the piano or violin, other instrument, for women's, and for just for girls like you. And actually, for some reason, and I know the reason is the passion that I have, um, that is unique, is something that I came with that from the package. At the age of 1 year old, I start emulating the sound of the bongo bell, and I was emulating like tiki tum tiki tum. Nobody showed me that, nobody teach me that. And I started developing the music heritage in my family, but it was until the age of 11 that my dad gave me the opportunity to play in the church. And when I was around 20 years old, I got an offer to make a gig for a salsa gig, and I was the only woman on timbales. So I did the rehearsal, I did everything, I learned all the music, and it was the day of the show. So the band in particular, they have four singers with choreography and everything. It was like a huge thing. But that day, it was the first time, like, people seeing a timbalera, a girl timbale player, for the first time, and they were like, they were not paying attention to the dancers at the moment. They were looking at me, like saying, "Who's that girl? I want to see that girl. I want to see who's that girl." And at the end of the show, the director came to me like, amazing, great job, but we have to talk. I'm like, thank you so much for having me. I was so excited. It was my first show. I'm like, yeah, it was amazing, but however, I can't hire you anymore. And I'm like, how come? Why? Like, you just told me that I did great. I'm like, yeah, yeah. And it's nothing against that. It's because your image is so strong, and I cannot compete with that. It's not normal. It's not you. I need to find another person to just stop you, because I don't want to compete with the first row. And I'm like, well, and like that, I have so many experience saying like, no, you can't, no, you can't, you should do your own, you should do your own. And that's why I'm right now doing my first album. I'm producing my own songs. I'm composing everything by myself. And I know I can do it, and that's why I never quit, because I really know that no other instrument has gender. There's no instrument that has gender. So being said that, I think women can do everything, and that's my philosophy. I'm sorry, that I always say that on my shows, like, women can do everything, because I being the first, like you mentioned, is a lot of responsibility. So I right now I'm basically pushing more and more, so now more girls can have that space, and right now there's more than ever. I can say there's a lot of percussionists, female percussionists, great female percussionists than before. I felt so lonely at the beginning, but now, woo, there's like a revolution of women in the music industry, and I'm really proud of that.
Awesome. What about you, Fabiola?
I have to share, similar experiences. Definitely being a cuatro player is also, like Zaira said, I mean, I feel like females are always thought of as singers or dancers, but like, no other music, no other instruments. So always coming to the gig and like everyone else looking at you like, oh, that's the singer. And then seeing you, take out your instrument and everyone is like, what? Oh, you're a musician? And then they say that, like, oh, you're a musician. And then you have to, I always feel like I have to work twice as hard to be accepted. Like everyone is looking at me once, for example, let's say I get to a rehearsal with a band that I've never played before. It's all men and I'm the only female. Usually I get the looks, and I know that I have to demonstrate or that I have to prove myself in a way to them so that I earn their respect. And once they hear me perform, they're like, oh, and then I feel like I'm accepted and I'm part of the group once they've heard me.
Exactly.
So that's definitely something that I know we experience. And to answer the other side of your question, Maria, which is moving from Puerto Rico here to the States, I felt more acceptance here because I feel like in Puerto Rico there's so much machismo, there's so much sexism,
Mhm.
which here too, but in Puerto Rico is, I feel like Latino culture is it's very machista, it's very strong. So you know, having to like dress a certain way, or like you always have to wear makeup, or you always have to have heels, or like certain things that are sometimes expectations for women, but for men they can just wear anything as long as it's black attire, you know. So that's something that I have not experienced here as much as I have down in Puerto Rico. Here I feel like it's a little more welcoming, a little more at least they're trying to be more equal, so to say. But yeah, that's a little bit of my experience.
Thank you. So it seems like sort of sexism that's particular in Puerto Rico, sort of cultural sexism that seems to have had a lot to do with Zaira's first experience of
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
you're not supposed to outperform the sexy salsa girls in the front, but also I think sort of much more common and perhaps more universal challenges within the music industry. You guys both had to struggle with that, but rose above. So
Yeah, we're here.
awesome. Thank you
Yes.
for thank you
Stronger
for
than ever.
forging the path and inspiring us. So my last question before going on to Q&A has to do with your other projects and more contemporary, you know, current project. So I know that we heard Latin jazz and salsa, but I know that both of you also write your own songs. And Zaira, you in your introduction, you said you rap a little bit too. And so I'm curious if you could talk a little bit about your current projects, which I also know have to do with social issues. I think we're all facing a lot of, we always have been, but I think recently, and especially since COVID started, we've become more and more aware, and many people are raising voices about political and social issues of the day. And I would love for you to share with us some of what you've been thinking and how that's been affecting your creative projects. So maybe we can start with you, Fabiola.
Sure, absolutely.
So do you want to talk about your song first? And then we
Yeah, I'll
have the
talk about what
video
you're
queued
gonna
up.
see. Absolutely.
So,
So
please set us up.
in my creative process, I am currently at in the spot, I guess, where I'm exploring my identities, and I want to reflect that in my music. So I did an album that was released last year in 2019, entitled "On the Other Side of the Pond," or in Spanish, "Al otro lado del charco." And in this album, I wanted to reflect about my experience being in the diaspora, as we call it in Puerto Rico, crossing the pond, moving to this side, as we call it also in Puerto Rico. And all the songs take us through the joy, the nostalgia, the anger, the happiness, the love of you know, learning, discovering myself, growing so much once I moved here. So what you're going to see is the title track of my album, Al otro lado del charco. And it's going to be in Spanish, but I just briefly want to translate what I'm saying, which is, on the other side of the pond, I learned to be what I never was. And here I discovered what it is to suffer and to love and to live. So I hope you
That's
enjoy.
beautiful. So let's check out the video and then we can perhaps talk a little bit more as well. So let's cue up the video, please.
Al
Such a beautiful
Nice.
song, and
Thank
quite different from what
you.
you were playing for
Yes.
the concert. Can you tell us a little bit about musical choice, and also you told me earlier that this project, you know, is about your sort of Afro-Riqueña identity, right? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So first of all, one of my missions as an artist, besides, you know, exploring my identities, trying to connect with others through that exploration, is also to show the versatility of the cuatro. So the cuatro, as I said earlier, is the national instrument of Puerto Rico. It's a very, you know, traditional folky instrument. So there's a lot of traditions that come with it and a lot of traditional music. And I love to perform the traditional music, but I also believe as a young musician that it's important to keep the instrument relevant and current with the times. So I like to show, as I said, the versatility by, for example, as you saw in that short clip, the cuatro is not playing the main melody. I'm singing, the cuatro is accompanying the voice. And then you see the guitar player take a solo and the cuatro plays the chords and accompanies the guitar player, which is a total opposite of what the cuatro would normally do in a traditional setting. The cuatro is usually the melody, the soloist, sort of like the star of the show. But I want to show the other side of the cuatro where it's an accompanying instrument. It can play chords. It doesn't have to be in the front the whole time. So that's why you see that. And I use that style of music in particular because I like the way I can include improvisation and harmonies and odd meters and all of this that in the traditional settings you're a little bit more limited. And then what you were saying about the project Afro-Riqueña, which is a project I'm working on currently, it's the exploration of my race, of my identity as an Afro-Puerto Rican woman, and what that entails, the issues about race, racism, comments that I heard growing up that I want to explore with my fellow Latinx people, just to create more awareness. Because I think that here in the US, the issues about race are very present and people understand the importance of it. In Puerto Rico, we ignore our race. We say, we're all Latinos, we're all happy, we're a mix of races, so everything's great. But there are so many comments, so many different things, for a lack of a better word, that are so ingrained in our culture. For example, one little example I just want to share. If I, as a Black woman, date a white man, a lot of people will say comments like, oh, you're better in the race. So, you know, it's awful. And that's a comment that you hear all the time. You're better in the race. If you're a Black person and you're dating a white person, everyone, your abuelas, your tias, everyone in your family will make those comments. And that's something that's so normal in Latinx cultures. So it is my mission as of right now with this project, Afro-Riqueña, to create spaces and through music, provide the opportunity for us to reflect about the things that we need to relearn and that we need to better for future generations.
Wow. That's so much right there, and I would love to dig into the details of what you just shared with us for like the next hour or two. But I guess I'm gonna have to take you out for a drink.
Yes.
Social distance and have a conversation about
yes.
that. But for the sake of time, I would like to now talk about Zaida's project.
Sure.
And when I first asked you to prepare for this conversation, it's like, can you tell me about if you do any kind of political music? Do you have any relationship to political activism? Do you connect that to your music? And your answer was like, not really. But then you shared with me your latest song that just got released maybe a couple weeks ago, and I was floored. So can you tell us what we're about to watch?
Yes, of course. This next video is I co-wrote the lyrics. The title is "We Want Peace," Queremos Paz. Is in Spanish, but has the subtitle so you can understand. Basically, we are talking about Black life matter. All life matters. It's not only Blacks, you know, but we have to raise our voice and talk about those problems, those issues, LGBT community, politics, corruptions. There's so many topics to talk lately, but we need to understand and believe finally in that we are only one race, the human race. Why we have to be fighting each other? So instead of be killing each other, let's come together. We need more love. We need more peace. That's what we ask. But that's what we ask, and that's basically what it says. And just check it out the lyrics. Try to read it, and I hope you enjoy it.
Cool. So, all right. So let's watch Zaira's video now, and maybe we can ask. I can ask a couple questions after that. Here you go.
Pido paz para mi tierra, paz para este mundo. Extiéndele la mano a ese vagabundo. Si fuéramos conscientes de lo que está de frente, entenderíamos que no somos tan diferentes. Nos persiguen y nos matan, por eso no me puedo quedar de brazos cruzadas. La raza humana es solo una. Si no pones tu parte, no quedará ninguna. Empecemos con la educación, ese es el primer paso. Trabajando todos juntos y sin ningún retraso. De paso, necesitamos más unión y que en la política no haya corrupción. Los inmigrantes nos bajamos todo el día para un mejor futuro y nuestro pan de cada día. La gente discrimina por un color de piel, si eres blanco y negro o si eres de otra fe. Quiero la paz, quiero el amor para sanar la humanidad. Quiero paz. Estoy cansada de malas influencias, paremos la maldad y todo tipo de violencia. Nuestra existencia está siempre amenazada por ese 1% de mentes depravadas. Pero esta canción es para los valientes, creando conciencia y liberando nuestra mente. Y recuerda que somos inteligentes, juntos lograremos paz para nuestra gente. Quiero la paz, quiero el amor para sanar la humanidad. Quiero paz. Dejemos el odio al homosexual, el feminicidio, triste realidad. Estamos sufriendo de salud mental, nativos muriendo por su identidad. Pedimos parar, poder respirar, que del de otro color dejen de abusar. Queremos sanar nuestra humanidad, pedimos amor, queremos paz.
Thank you, Zaira. When did this drop again? It's very recent.
Yes, they released it for the International Day of Peace. This is the 21st of September.
Great, wonderful. And so I am curious why you first, when I first asked you about your relationship to political activism as a musician, you said, no, not really. How are you approaching these issues? Because you are listing
Yes,
a lot
definitely
of
with
issues.
this song. When I told you, my answer was like, no, really, is because I was telling you the truth. In terms that in my salsa music, I don't used to do that. But when it came this opportunity, I was like, you know what, people needs to hear what I have to say about what's going on in the world, and I took the advantage and yeah, we did this, and I'm really happy with the song, to be honest.
We are blessed with both of your songs, so thank you. I think it's time for Q&A, but before that, is there anything that I didn't ask that I should have, or anything that you wanted to say before?
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
I think we're ready
you.
for the Q&A.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so I have first question. How does your background influence the way you express yourself and perform music?
Can you ask again? I'm sorry.
How does your background influence the way you express yourself and perform music?
Yeah, it's everything. Everything that I do, there's nothing that I can deny from my culture. Everything, rhythm, the way that I talk, everything is inside of me, in my blood, and if influence in my lyrics, the way that I look, everything is me. It's myself.
I have to agree. I mean, you saw it in the video. The first thing, we're always dancing throughout the whole show. So that's the first thing of our background. I mean, all of our music just makes you want to dance. In my case, I always incorporate a little bit of the traditional music into everything I do. So for any one of you that's interested or that knows about Puerto Rican music, you can probably hear in my way of soloing,
Yes.
in my composing, some of my melodic ideas when I write music, I throw little quotes of Puerto Rican tradition. So I always carry, it doesn't matter if I'm playing jazz, if I'm playing salsa, if I'm playing rock, if I'm playing classical, I'll always throw a little quote of I'm Puerto Rican. Here's this little quote of a Puerto Rican song.
That's cool because that's like a secret code, right?
Yes.
If you
So-
recognize it, they
and
know.
a lot of Puerto Ricans, if I do like a little quote, everyone's like, oh,
Hey.
so yeah.
She does it all the time, and I love it.
Yeah.
And then those of us who don't know are missing out. So there's another question. What do you think the kind of music you play or music in general could bring to the audience during the pandemic? So the role that your music or music in general can play during this very particular time that we find ourselves in.
I think it's been so soothing. I mean, it's arts, not just music, but arts have been what has kept us, I think, going in a way. Thanks to like all the Facebook Live events, the YouTube events, the Zoom events, like these type of spaces for people to relax and still feel connected in a way, because we're all so separate physically, that I think the arts provide this opportunity for us to gather, even if we're separate, and watch something together and comment and relate and engage with each other in a way that if it wasn't for art during a pandemic, I don't know if we would be able to connect in the way we have because of it.
Yeah, I just have to add that thank God for the music, because music is very powerful. You can be happy, you can be sad. It's very powerful, and I'm glad that I can make music. It's something else.
And we're lucky that you shared your talents with us too. And I'm sort of last question I'm adding myself is I'm sort of guessing on Facebook Live audiences, which were pretty active and live and excited listening to your music during your set earlier. So I'm assuming that you have sort of a fan base in both, right? Puerto Rico and here. How is your music sort of received? Especially because both of you are sort of doing groundbreaking projects, right? Sort of define some expectations or changing a little bit of a repertoire. I'm curious what your, friends and fans in Puerto Rico think about what you're doing here.
In my case, there's the majority of people are very open and very welcoming of the stuff I'm doing, but there's also a side that's very traditionalist. And that doesn't necessarily approve of the type of music that I'm doing, because they are scared that the tradition will die if all the young people are just innovating and playing modern styles of music.
That's perfect, actually, because another question just popped up saying, gracias, Fabiola Zaira. Fabiola, I love how you're completely redefining the cuatro. Do you face resistance from the elders about breaking with tradition?
Yeah,
How
so
do you
exactly.
balance tradition and innovation?
I
What are you
do
talking
both.
about?
So I think that's the important part of me as an artist, is that I have my project with the music that you heard here in this concert, the music that you heard in the video, the album that I'm producing now, it's all sort of Latin jazz. But I'm also part of traditional groups in Puerto Rico, particularly one group called the Simanía de Puerto Rico, which is they are in charge of keeping the tradition alive. And they have all these young trovadores, which are the singers of the traditional music. They have cuatristas, they have guitar players, all young, performing the tradition. And we go and travel. We were recently, before the pandemic started, we were in Chile in a festival of the traditional music of Iberoamerica, so like Central America and South America and the Caribbean. So I think that I'm able to balance both, because I do both, and that way I sort of try to keep both sides happy. And like, as I'm playing the traditional music, I like show them a little bit of my like jazz music, and I'm like, check it out, and they're like, oh, it's actually kind of cool, so trying to keep everyone happy in a way.
Nice.
And of course, being very respectful of the tradition. I think that it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you respect the history of your craft, everyone will appreciate that.
Beautiful.
That's
And you-
exactly what I try to do. Because salsa is exactly the same for her. They're very jealous with their music, so you have to play it right. And if you're a woman, double it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a lot of responsibility. And I try to do the traditional salsa with my style that is of course is fresh, is new. People they're not common to see a woman singer and timbale player at the same time. It's something that this is special, it's unique, and that's what I'm doing it.
Beautiful. You're both sort of winning everybody over with your craft and then kind of change their minds a little bit, make them listen a little bit more flexibly.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I think we're the time's up for us, but I really appreciate both of you sharing your musical talent and giving us the
Thank
beautiful
you.
performance. We all loved it. And thank you for this conversation and inspiration. So I hope that audience and viewers right here can silently give or loud a round of applause for Fabiola and Zaira. And so thank you everyone for tuning in tonight for this event. Thank you for joining us. And if you would like to stay tuned for next year's festival in 2021, hopefully we'll be actually back in person, 2-day long big festival on BU campus where maybe two of you could visit and perform again. So please be sure to check out bu.edu/GMF for a mailing list if you want to be updated about upcoming events and artists and schedules and tickets for next year's event. Again, bu.edu/GMF. So thank you everyone. Please stay healthy and safe and see you hopefully in person next year. Bye.
Bye.